A warm welcome to all the participants of the special webinar on career and employability. Building an impressive profile has become a necessary aspect of one's career. Being aware of one's own capabilities and aligning them with the expected skill sets from the job market is the core component of a program that deals with career and employability. The Career Development Center of the Faculty of Science and Humanities, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Vadapalani campus, has taken this initiative to guide and help the students and the fresh graduates seeking job opportunities and who have set on their career through this webinar titled Get, Set, Go, Talks and Career and Employability. This program will be held in 4 sessions over a period of 2 days, that is today and tomorrow. We have eminent trainers across industries to deliver talks on various important topics related to career and employability. This is a precious opportunity for all the students who are ambitious to design their career and lay a strong foundation for the same. This comes as a blessing in disguise for all of you to learn the nuances of various aspects, starting from resume writing, communication skill, participating in group discussions, cracking aptitude tests, and also handling interviews from the comfort of your homes. Hence, I request all the participants to stay with us for both the days and benefit from it. We are glad to have our Director Academics, Science, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Vadapalani campus on this first session of the 2-day webinar. I request our director to begin the 2-day webinar with his special address.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is it audible? Yeah, is it audible? Hello? Hello?
Audible, sir.
Yeah, is it audible?
Audible, sir. Audible.
Okay, okay. Our guest has come, all the 3 guests, Mr. Krish Venkat and other people, Srinivas Venugopal has come.
Sir, Krish Venkat is available, sir.
Very good morning, sir. Very good morning.
Very good morning. Yeah, very good morning. Good morning, sir. So anyhow, our guests have come here. Also, distinguished guest, Mr. Krish Venkat, CEO of Ananta Global Consulting, and other guests also will be expected to come and join. Mr. Srinivas Venugopal, Training Manager, HCL Technology, Mr. S. Arul Murugan, Aptitude Trainer, and all other guests, deans and other faculty members and beloved students. At the outset, I welcome you all for this webinar on Career and Employability Program. And for the guest, I want to say something about our SRM institution. And you know that SRM Institute of Science and Technology has established itself as a leading institution in the field of engineering, science, commerce, management studies, law, and medical sciences. Over the last 30 years, our institution has steadily grown in stature and has gained high acceptance in the academic world as well as in the industry. Now, for the students, maybe you may be the 2nd year students or the final year students, you should know that you have many roles to play. You are the nation builders, you are the agents for change, and you are the movers of technology. And today, we are living in a world full of great challenges and opportunities. Students should have professional competence to fit into this changing global business environment. You know, we believe in appropriate soft skill training to our students. We also believe in appropriate soft skill as well as life skill training to our students I used to call this as a life skill training to enhance the employability of educated youth. When I say professional competence, professionalism, you should try to understand what is professionalism. It is not actually predominantly, it is an attitude towards the work, not the job you do. Try to understand. Professional in the sense it is predominantly an attitude towards the work, not the job you do. There is a difference between work and job. And we can say it is an amalgam of provoking, thought-provoking, and proactive behavior. Professionalism is a thought-provoking and proactive behavior. And this is a very, very important aspect, skill set you should have. And as a student, maybe you'll be doing first year or second year or third year, you have two major decisions you have to take. You might have already taken, but if you are not taken, you should take now at least. Two major decisions. One, aiming for gainful employment. That is one decision. After completing your course, you are aiming for gainful employment. The second goal or second aim what you have in your life, profitable self-employment. So some students will aim for gainful employment. If they are not interested in working as a staff or doing job, then the second category may be aiming for profitable self-employment, entrepreneur. There is a set of skills necessary during this course of the program, degree program. If you are aiming for gainful employment, then there are certain soft skills you have to develop right from today if you are not started in the first year. What are the skills you have to develop? Soft skills, I used to call this as a life skill. Even the industry used to call this as a transferable skill. I have three words: soft skill, life skill, transferable skills. What are the skills you should have? First thing here, now the present scenario in this challenging world, communication, effective communication. What do you mean by effective communication? Just the three things you have to remember: fluency, accuracy, and correct expression are essential for effective communication. I'll repeat it: fluency, accuracy, and correct expression are essential for effective communication. This is the major thing here. You know, lot of engineering colleges are available, arts and science colleges, law college, medical college, everywhere. So much of graduates and postgraduates coming out every year, you know. Not even 10% of them are employable because lack of communication. That is a major thing we face in all the institutions, not only in Faculty of Science and Humanities, but also in engineering and other subjects. So effective communication is a very, very important skill you have to develop, but you cannot develop in overnight. You have to do a lot of reading the newspaper, so many things you have to do. The second aspect about attitude. Third aspect about the critical analysis, emotional balance. These are all the skills, soft skills or transferable skills. You have to aim, you have to start doing it. One thing you should remember, the industry gives importance for three things. What industry expects, if you ask, industry gives importance for three things. One, knowledge, just 20 marks or 20%. Next, skills, 40%. Industry gives importance for 40% skills. Then attitude, 40%. So now carefully see this. Industry gives importance 20% for knowledge, 40% for skills, and 40% for attitude. Skills and attitude alone 80%. But unfortunately, in our academic system, in our college or university activities, we don't give training for skills and attitude. We concentrate on imparting subject knowledge alone If you are studying computer science, subject knowledge. If you are studying commerce, subject knowledge. That's what we are using. That's what all the institutions, academic institutions are concentrating. Just making you preparing for the university exam, getting the degree. What is the use here? You tell me. You're going to be associated with your job, or you're going to be associated in a profession or self-employment. For that set of skills you have to develop during this college program. That is the important aspect here now. That's why I'm telling these are all the skills. Industry gives importance only for skills and attitude. You know, the knowledge can be acquired. Nowadays, even the teachers or the professors need not teach anything. The students are more getting more information through net and other things. So knowledge you can acquire, but skills cannot be acquired. I repeat the word, skills cannot be acquired. Skills can be developed. Attitude cannot be developed. Attitude can be hired. H-I-R-E-D. Attitude can be hired. Long back, when I was a syndicate member, long back, Professor Sadiq, former Vice Chancellor of Madras University, used to say in all the professors' meeting, this happens 20 years back. Knowledge can be acquired, skills can be developed, and attitude can be hired, H-I-R-E-D. Depending on the situation, you can change your attitude. If you are working in IT industry, your attitude will be different. If you are working in banking sector, your attitude will be different. You have to understand the situation and change your attitude. So these are all the things the industry gives important. Skill sets for employability. Then another aspect here, what is the problem? There is a big gap between the industry and the institution. The industry is ready to come for the campus placement or campus recruitment, but there is a big gap between what they expect and what we do in the institution. That's the drawback. What is that gap? Big gap. We don't concentrate on these aspects, soft skills. That is why I told you in the beginning that only 10 to 15% of the graduates, either in engineering college or arts and science or any college or higher education, are eligible for employability. The reason is the lack of communication, lack of body language, lack of language adaptability. Carefully listen each word. Lack of communication, lack of body language, and lack of language adaptability. And apart from this communication, emotional imbalance, emotional disturbance. There is no emotional stability among the students. So these are all the skills they have to develop for gainful employment and even for profitable self-employment after your graduation. You want to start your own business. You want to be an entrepreneur. Good. Instead of seeking job, you provide job. That is also a good concept. But for that also, during the college program or during this college days or university courses, you have to develop certain skills. If you want to start your own business, to start your own business, what are the things you have to concentrate? Risk taking, financial planning. You should have interest in the business. You should have initiative. You should try to understand the total concept of the business. Marketing skill. These are all the skills you have to develop right from second year or first year. Suppose you are not aiming for gainful employment. You are not aiming for profitable self-employment. You are not developing the skills during the program, these 3 years. Then what is that? So you want to get the degree, complete the academic programs and write the exam and get the degree. That is not going to help you at all. That is the purpose of organizing this type of webinar. Industries. We have experts from HCL industry. We have experts from other industries. Global consultants. So they will talk about the skills, what the industry expects. Then apart from this, you should try to understand one thing here. Industry, I told you, the industry expects a ready-made product from the institution. That is the present scenario. Previously, the industry people used to come and recruit, and they will ask you to come to the campus, the industry. After completing your course, they will give training for 3 months or 6 months. What are the things you have to do? All these things have been doing it, but now they expect a ready-made product from the institution right from the first day of your service. If you are a computer graduate, you should be in a position to start your work during the first day itself of your appointment. They don't want to wait for 3 months or 6 months training. That is why all the skills you should develop here. But unfortunately, the students are not market ready. Try to understand the word. The students are not market ready. Just having the degree alone will not be sufficient. Now, because of this COVID, the entire situation has changed. The education pattern has changed. It is going to be a different type. What you have been learning is totally different. What you are going to do is totally different. What the industry expects hereafter is also work from home, and all these things to be changed totally. Just day before yesterday, Google CEO, Sundar Pichai, has announced that up to June 2021, all the employees of Google are going to work from home. So see the concept here. Office space, no use hereafter. They want to shrink the office space. When you are sitting there in your house or in your home and then doing all the office work, your culture should be totally changed. You should be able to adapt computing capabilities, other infrastructure facilities, and you should solve your problem. Apart from this, the industry gives importance for creativity. Unfortunately, as academician, we have been teaching for 30-40 years, but we know that there is a survey conducted in 115 countries. When a student comes to 5th standard in the school, 40% of the creativity has been wiped out. When the student completes +2, 90% of the creativity has been wiped out. When he comes to the college for higher education, undergraduate program, even for undergraduate program, he has 10% of creativity that is being gradually going down. He asks, undergraduate program, he asks the professor, sir, can you give me some guides or notes for this question so that we can read the notes alone and write the examination, get the degree? Even the postgraduate students, they're asking. See the mentality here. Where is the creativity? Creativity has been totally wiped out in our system. When there is no creativity, industry gives importance for creative attitude. Ability to be creative, that is the first soft skill they expect. So where to develop all the skills? That's why I told you there is a big gap between the industry and the institution. The gap can be bridged by importing these skills in our system, in our academic system. That is the purpose of having all these things. And NASCOM. NASCOM says a lot of job opportunities in 3 or 4 fields in computer engineering, particularly cybersecurity, machine learning, big data, and other things, artificial intelligence, so many. Artificial intelligence, the future, everything is going to be controlled by artificial intelligence. Whether the students are ready, that's why I use the word, students are not market ready. After completing your BSc program, after completing your MSc Computer Science or MCA or MBA or BCom, you are going to start learning about some programs. But you see, in another 2 to 3 years, the role of artificial intelligence in almost all the fields. Start from health industry. The artificial intelligence is going to diagnose the health issues. Accuracy will be there. 3D body scanner will be coming. The doctor's role will come down. Everything will be decided by the machine. That is the role of artificial intelligence in healthcare industry. Whether we are ready, the students are ready to have this artificial intelligence, how to operate and how to use it. Then you come to this role of artificial intelligence. In other areas, even in the banking sector, BCom students. The credit facility will be decided by the machine. That will decide accuracy. They will see all the details of the customers, and then they will decide. The machine will decide. Then coming to e-commerce, it is going to be a very massive role of artificial intelligence, very massive. Even in teaching, in education institution, hereafter, the new normal is online education. Yesterday, new education policy, online new. This is going to be a new normal. Over the 60, 70 years, we have not seen this type of changes in education system. This is going to be the new normal. So what is that? Role of artificial intelligence in education institution or teaching and learning process. Two parts. One is information. You will get wealth of information through artificial intelligence. Even professors or lecturers need not give anything. You will be more intelligent than professors sometimes. Second off, it is assisted learning. It is going to do only assisted learning. That's all. That's what you want, students want. That is the role of artificial intelligence in teaching. So everywhere the system is going to be changed. That is why the NASCOM gives importance for three things. Please remember, this is the skill you have to do. You have to set. You have to go. One, deep skilling. Shallow skills or the major basic skills will not be useful hereafter. Deep skilling. They use the word deep skilling. Upskilling, latest skills you should know, even if you are a computer graduate. Upskilling and reskilling. They are using the word reskilling. These are all the recent concepts and NASCOM gives important. Then only you will fit into the job market. Deep skilling, reskilling, and upskilling. So these are all the things you have to develop. Where is the time in academic institution? Morning you are coming and the professor start teaching the class subject, and evening you are going out and you are preparing for the examination. Just 1 month before the exam, you are preparing all these things and then writing the exam, getting the degree. But when you come out, the industry expects totally different. You have to be with the industry. Then only you will. See, there is one soft skill I tell you, not only to get the job. I told you a lot of things: communication, attitude, or critical analysis, emotional balance, body language, language adaptability. I told you all the skills. But another important thing, to retain job, you should have some skill. So that means I use the word life skill. Throughout your life, till last breath, you should have a skill. You should develop skill. To retain job also, you have to have some skill. You ask the people, they are going to tell you. A senior person come from HCL. How many people have lost job after getting into the IT industry? They don't know. To retain job, you should have skill. What is that? Updated skill. That's why I'm using upskill. See, the role of artificial intelligence is going to reduce the job opportunities also. In another 2 to 3 years, it is going to happen. Automation, everywhere automation. But one thing you should remember, there is a difference between artificial intelligence and natural human brain neuron activities. Natural human neural activities cannot be matched with artificial intelligence. But artificial intelligent machine is also controlled by human brain only. For that, you should have deep skilling, upskilling, reskilling in your subject. Not only in your subject, but in your skills. The basic skill is not sufficient. So these are all the things what we are going to discuss in this webinar, and you are going to the basic, right from the basic resume preparation and this group discussion, and then how to face this interview. What are the skills you have to develop before you appear for the placement activity? After getting the job, as I told you, how to retain the job, and how to update yourself. All these things we are going to do. That is the purpose of this session. Anyhow, with these few words, I take this opportunity to wish you all success. in the future endeavor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for setting the stage in the most appropriate way. Now, our first session today is titled Techniques for Effective Communication. And the expert talk is going to be rendered by Mr. Krish Venkat. It's indeed a great honor to host Mr. Krish Venkat. The summary of his profile cannot be contained in just a few minutes, but I would do justice to honor him with the major achievements of his career. I'll quickly go through the profile shared by Mr. Krish Venkat. He is a certified coach, a psychologist, and an MBA from USA, and also a chartered accountant. He is specialized in organizational and leadership psychology, strategy, and peak performance. He is an associate certified coach from the International Coach Federation and holds a certificate in Business Edge from World Bank for mentoring all stakeholders who are part of the business value chain of large organizations in all aspects of business. He has over 25 years of experience in learning and development, human resource development, coaching, strategy, and finance. He has worked for large organizations like the Hindu, RPG Group, Deloitte, Sunland International, and the list goes on. He is currently the CEO of Ananta Global Consulting. And as a CEO, he has been leading a team of professionals consulting in the HR, learning and development space for business giants like Accenture, GE, Ashok Leyland, and Wipro during the last 12 years. He got trained in the theme-centered interaction, shortened as TCI, from Switzerland, which is a highly engaging interpersonal working methodology by Mr. Herman Epler at Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. He is also an expert storyteller, scriptwriter, and a therapist too. He has facilitated many workshops for thousands of people across organizations and across all age groups. He has founded the Speakers Cafe and has also published books on Amazon. He's an avid writer and a thinker and has published articles on leadership, coaching, people management, learning, peak performance, business process management, and business strategies. I now humbly welcome Mr. Krish Venkat to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. So thanks very much to the Institute for giving me this opportunity. Before anything else, I would want to tell a couple of things to all the young participants. I'm not here to give you any advice. I'm here to share a lot of good news, in fact, to you. It's going to be very simple and yet very powerful. I'm not going to deal with any theory. So one background which I would want to introduce about myself. Thanks for the nice introduction. But I would want you to forget all that and remember what I'm going to introduce about myself now. I was born in a family which was financially, I would say, I'm wording it as financially, lower middle class. We were struggling financially, but from there I have evolved to whatever I am today. So I'm not a born rich person, not born with a silver spoon. I grew up in Chennai in a place where we used to talk only in the native language, right? So today I rub shoulders with the CEOs, with champions, with international professionals. So what I want to tell everybody is if I can do it, anybody in this world can do it. So let me take you through some of the slides which I have prepared. And there is absolutely no theory. Some stories about some real successful people. So let me now share the presentation first, and then let's proceed. So you can see the slide, which summarizes everything about communication. So communication is exactly like swimming. So how do you learn swimming? You get into the water, right? You have a good friend or you have a good mentor. You get into the water. You spend some time, some days, some weeks, some months, depending on how expert you would want to be. So you cannot develop your communication by reading books or being idle. You have to really experience it. Only by communicating you can develop your effective communication. And also I would want to share with you another simple analogy. And this is also relevant today because the whole world believes that, you think of a plant, right? A plant has, say, imagine a plant with a flower. There are beautiful flowers and you see the leaves. The whole world is focusing on the flower. Whereas the secret of the flower and the plant will be in the seed and in the root. So for communication to be developed, we have to go to the root, right? So I am more of a psychologist. I'm a student of psychology, and I get into the root of the human behavior, the human mind. So communication is not just about communication. And a doctor mentioned attitude in his introductory talk. A lot has got to do with the attitude. A lot has got to do with the belief system we have inside. So don't look at the flower. You need to think of the root, the seed. You need to water. You need to pay attention to the root. So before I continue further, I want to remind you once again to all the young minds here, the 260, 270 young minds who are here today. I'm here to serve you as a friend. Don't look at me as an expert. Don't look at me as somebody who's there at 30,000 feet. Look at me as your friend. I'm not here to advise you. I'm not here to put you down. I am an ardent follower of Dr. Abdul Kalam. So I would do whatever he did during his lifetime. He was one person who empowered people, who always reminded the young generation of India that they were actually good. So I'm doing the same thing. So I want to remind you that everything is good about you. It's just a matter of time. Each one of you are going to be global leaders, right? So those of you who have a paper or a notebook and a pencil or a pen with you, draw a line. Those of you who don't have a notebook and a pen, the first lesson is I'm going to share with the secret of the world's richest people, the most successful people. They love writing down things. So draw a line, just a couple of seconds for you. I hope you would have drawn a line by now. Okay, so how many of you drew a horizontal line? How many of you drew a vertical line? So I think most of the people, wherever I ask people to do this activity, either it would be a horizontal line or a vertical line. Very rarely people would draw a line that is curved. That's also a line. So the reason why I asked you to draw a line is to demonstrate one important thing. We are all programmed to behave in a particular manner by the environment, by the family background, the friends around, whatever. So the way we have been groomed to think in a particular way, and we think the same way throughout our life. If we are conscious of it, if we are aware of it, we would start thinking creatively, thinking differently, not deliberately thinking creatively for the sake of creativity, but trying to think differently, and we'll be able to solve many of the problems that we can. And you youngsters have this ability. And I would keep on repeating it, and this is not to please you. This is not to make you happy, but to remind you of the immense capabilities you have. And the future world belongs to you. And I'm absolutely sure, just like Dr. Abdul Kalam, that you are here to conquer the world. You are here to rule the future. Before I go to the communication part, this is that one habit of the rich and the successful. The last many years, I have personally researched the life of many, many successful people, be it rich, be it entrepreneurs, be it CEOs, be it even the business people locally. I'm not talking about the Harvard graduates. I'm not even talking about the IIM graduates. I'm talking about the rich and successful. This has got not much to do with the academic education, but with certain other habits. That's why I'm using the word habit. All of these people, the rich, the successful people, they are good student always. Even when they have 30, 40 years of experience, they first demonstrate this particular trait of being a good student, whatever it means, being a good student, right? They're a good student. They always listen, right? We're talking about effective communication. You'll be surprised to know that the first very important thing is to listen. The world's greatest communicators are very ardent listeners. I'm giving an example of Richard Branson, the CEO or the founder of the Virgin group of companies. Here is a person who would travel by his own aircraft, right? Just imagine he and probably one or two of his staff traveling by his own aircraft, chartered flights. But one thing which he would always want to carry with him would be a notebook and a pen. Can you imagine? A founder of a large group of companies, international group, has his own chartered flight, and he would feel like there is a vacuum if he doesn't carry a notebook and a pen. Please carry this message throughout your life. Being a good student, this is not for your professors, not for a director, not for anybody else. This is for your own sake. Whatever profession you want to be, tomorrow you want to get into theater, drama, maybe a stand-up comedy, maybe an artist, maybe you want to get into some sport, whichever profession you're going to get into, you need a notebook and a pen, because we are basically thinking beings, right? Human beings are thinking beings. A lot of things happen when we think, and a notebook and a pen will empower you tremendously. Alvin Toffler, a great thinker, he redefined who are these illiterates. Earlier an illiterate is one who cannot read, cannot write, right? That was the thing. The illiterate is one who cannot read, cannot write. But today it has been redefined, where Alvin Toffler says the illiterates of the 21st century are those who cannot learn and unlearn. The most important skill is the ability to learn. The most important attitude is also the attitude to be a good student and keep on learning. And I'm sure, I said I'm your friend. So I'm going to tell you something. Learning 1.0 is always boring, right? I'm with you. So I know that, the syllabus is thrust upon you. You don't like the classes. 5 minutes, my English professor used to tell me in my college, guys, you are in the classroom just for 5 minutes, but you feel, oh my God, I've been here for the last 5 hours. You are with your friends chatting about something. 5 hours. And after that, what do you exclaim to your friends? You say, oh, 5 hours gone. No, I thought just 5 minutes. So that's, something which is natural. I'm not challenging you. I'm telling you, like Dr. Abdullah, I'm saying it is natural. But learning 2.0 is something where you initiate, you start, you set the syllabus, and you learn, not because somebody else is forcing you, because you want to learn for your own sake. Take that ownership, change that attitude, because from today, you are going to be the boss. And everything starts with the right attitude. Right? So you would have heard of this term attitude so many times. Parents would tell, teachers would tell, every time somebody say you should have the right attitude. You don't have the right attitude. You don't have attitude. If you would have listened to sports commentaries, even there the commentator would say, that this particular player doesn't have the proper attitude. So what exactly is that attitude? Let us first understand that it first starts with good work ethic. If you're the boss, if you are going to own everything that you do, and if you're going to do everything for your own sake, do it well. Work ethic is, take your favorite sports person. I'm going to deviate. Forget everything else. You have your favorite hero or heroine, maybe a sports man or a sportswoman, maybe an actor, a director, an artist. All of these people, the moment you realize they are successful, you can take it from me, they have very good work ethic. So what is that work ethic? They are the first to be there when there's a practice. They intensely practice. They give their heart and soul into the practice. They fail, they come out of that failure with even more hard work. There is absolutely no substitute for dedicated work. So it starts with work ethic, whether it is MS Dhoni or whether it's Mary Kom or PV Sindhu or your favorite actor or dancer or stand-up comedian. Any successful, I'm talking about successful professional. There are people who suddenly come one day, everybody says, oh, he is the sensation. And after a few months, maybe after one movie, maybe after a couple of matches, he is gone. He or she is just gone. The difference is the right attitude. Work ethic, being organized. Every day of yours must be organized. When you say effective communication, your thoughts have to be organized. Your learning has to be organized. Learning 2.0, remember from today, it is learning 2.0 where you are the boss. Being organized is another thing which is part of the right attitude. Self-discipline. When you are your boss, nobody is going to question you. Even if others question you, never mind. But you question yourself. So do you have a self-discipline? Do you have an attitude where you can yourself give feedback saying, hey, yesterday I had wasted a lot of time. So today I will compensate it. I'm learning from that mistake. So self-discipline, nobody is enforcing it. You are enforcing it yourself. And when I say enforce, I'm going to tell you something. There's a huge difference between force and source. Force is an external pressure that is applied. That doesn't have an impact. When it comes from your source, when it comes from within you, then that sustains till your end of the life. 80 years, 90 years, it will sustain. Let it come from the source within you because you are the boss. Very clear values. When I say values here, your personal values. Personal values are nothing but your own priorities. You set certain priorities. This is what is my focus. This is my priority. So I will focus on that. For example, a sportsman, for him, a clear values when it is time for practice. If it clashes with a movie, if it clashes with a party with a friend, that person will choose the practice because his value system is very clear. Instead of that movie or that entertainment, not during the practice time. That priority is what is called personal value, at a very simple level. And the other dimension of attitude is life is full of ups and downs. Sachin Tendulkar, who is a god of cricket, is considered as a god of cricket even today. He has had so many failures. He has scored ducks, he has scored low scores, and then he comes out of it. Life for everybody, including your favorite hero, has been a series of ups and downs. How do you handle those ups and downs? Handling the success as well as handling the failure. That's also part of the right attitude. More importantly, stop blaming anybody outside you. Take responsibility and take control of the environment, the situation. Your favorite batsman, when he goes into bat, he doesn't say the pitch is like this, the weather is like this. He tells, I'm talking about the best of players, whether it's MS Dhoni or whoever it is. When the person goes in, or take PV Sindhu playing shuttle, when these people get into the match, they don't look at the audience, they don't look at the sky, they don't look at the opponent. They only control their environment. Virendra Sehwag was asked, Virendra Sehwag is only interested in fours and sixes. Somebody is asking, Mr. Sehwag, the best of bowlers are bowling. How are you hitting them for sixes and fours? He said, I don't look at the bowler. I only look at the ball. So very simple philosophy. Take control of the situation. Control the environment. This is what everybody has done. All successful people do this. In problems lie great opportunities. You know, the power of focus. Where is your focus? You ask yourself. I am not asking you. Don't let anybody else ask you. You ask yourself, where is my focus? Because wherever your focus goes, your energy, your time, all the resources will flow, will go towards that focus. So where is your focus? Ask yourself. So when we talk about effective communication, what's your focus or where is your focus? Right? So effective focus is not just about getting the job. This effective communication is not just for facing that interview. Please don't think it that's a very myopic kind of an approach. Think long term, right? Think long term. Think of yourself as an important person who's here in this world to accomplish something. You are divine. You are an awesome creation of God. Nothing less than that. You may be a backbencher. I'm again, quoting Dr. Abdul Kalam. There are a lot of fantastic leaders who amongst the backbenchers. If you are a backbencher, pat yourself because you're going to be a leader in the future. Oh no, even today you are a leader. And the moment you focus on your life, where you are going to script your story, the focus will start flowing towards what you want to achieve, not what somebody else tells you. That's the power of focus. And more importantly, your company and your environment, your friendship is very, very important. As a friend, I want to tell you, what will make or break your life is the kind of people who keep around you. If, on a lighter note, if you start doing something good, if, for example, is effective communication. So let's say you start talking in English from today. You tell yourself, okay, I'm going to practice good communication. So let me talk in English. The first set of people who would laugh at you will be your own friends around. Hey, Peter, so then what will happen is, you are scared of them, literally, and then you stop attempting that. So what is happening? Because of your friends. They are friends, absolutely no doubt. Friends are important, right? But a friend cannot stop you from doing something good. A friend cannot lead you to a very unhealthy habit or to a damaging habit. Then that friendship is definitely not at all worth. So that environment around you. When I talk about environment, today psychologists have found that the environment in which somebody grows up is a huge deciding factor of his future. Like, for example, in Silicon Valley in the US, where all these tech startups come up, even in a coffee shop, people sit there, they don't gossip about some actors, some actress, they don't gossip about Hollywood, Bollywood, etc. They sit there and they talk about this idea, that guy has got some millions of dollars, has funding from somewhere. This guy has started something today. Every day there is a startup that we know only Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates and some others. There are innumerable startups every day in the Silicon Valley. Wherever there's an environment, right? In that environment, people automatically grow, automatically shine. So an environment is very important, right? That's another thing. Mr. N.S. Sivaraman is a good friend of mine. I'm introducing him as my good friend and also my well-wisher and also my mentor. A friend and a mentor and a well-wisher. This story is real. Mr. Sivaraman grew up in a village. He studied in a village. He did all his schooling in a village. And around that time, he realized that he has been studying in a non-English medium school, his mother tongue. He could not speak even a single word in English. So one day he told himself, let me start speaking English. What happens when a person who is not used to speaking English, he starts talking in English? It would be funny. There would be mistake every word, right? His classmates would laugh at him, literally laugh at him. But he would take that very sportingly. He wouldn't mind. He wouldn't become very upset, and he didn't stop talking in English. And today, I told him he's my mentor. Let me show his photo. He is my mentor. He is 70 years old. I am, I'm not belonging to his generation, but I can always look at him as my friend, never feeling insecure, never feeling scared. Such a wonderful person. He retired as a CEO of one of the Larsen and Toubro companies, L&T group companies. He retired as a CEO. And today he's he's the chief mentor of the Ananta group. That story, from nowhere to somewhere, a person was shy of speaking English, a person who couldn't even talk one word. Recollect that first slide I said, communicating is like swimming. Get into how do you learn swimming in a village? Along with some trusted people, maybe your uncle, maybe your friend, maybe you just jump into the well. Sometimes they even push you into the well, but there's someone helping you as well, right? They don't let you drown. That is how you learn swimming. Get into the water, get into probably knee deep water, get into a hip level water, start talking in English, start communicating. If you're already good in English, even explore other things, other dimensions of the communication. These are the three brothers, the Natarajan brothers as they are called. They studied in a Tamil medium school in a village. Right? Now, one is so how they ended up. They started as students of a government school, underline, government school in a village, in a Tamil medium. One ended up as a chairman of the Tata Sons. One ended up as the CFO of one of the Murugappa group, the Murugappa group, which is there in the Paris corner in Chennai, the EID Paris. Murugappa group is into a flurry of products, right, from sugar to this to steel and all that. The other person also ended up in TCS, heading TCS. But they started somewhere. These are the real stories I am telling you today. Because this presentation, I am not going to tell how can somebody, all this theory, what is effective communication, definition of effective communication. I am not going to deal with those things. I am showing you real life examples of people who decided one day, okay, I'm going to learn swimming. And how they learned swimming, they got into the water, right? So that is another live example of three brothers. And they were from the agricultural background. They did not have that environment where the father is already an English professor or a headmaster of a school. Their parents were agriculturists. That is the combination. That's the inspiring lesson. And the next is the most inspiring. I have already spoken about Dr. Kalam. I told you I'm an ardent follower. If there is a course called MBA in communication, he is that MBA course. You don't need to go outside of Dr. Abdul Kalam. When Dr. Abdul Kalam passed away some years back, Indian population was 1.2 billion, right? So how did Dr. Abdul Kalam charm 1 billion Indians? Diverse background. If one person says East, the other person would say West deliberately. How did he charm such a diverse population? Everybody, right from an auto driver to some CEO, a child to a scientist, just love him so much. That is the power of effective communication. Effective communication is not about talking in fluent English where somebody would need to understand what is that word he is using. I'm reminded of a good example, right? Dr. Shashi Tharoor versus, say, Dr. Abdul Kalam. I respect all of them. I respect Shashi Tharoor. I respect Abdul Kalam. So, but the difference is you have a person who's a literary figure, right? Shashi Tharoor is a literary figure. He's into English, and if you need to really understand him, you need to refer to the dictionary. But Dr. Abdul Kalam is somebody who charmed everybody by his communication. So let us see now a mini MBA, a 5-minute MBA. What did he do to charm a billion countrymen, and which you and I can also emulate. The first point, look at the screen, simple. His communication was always simple. The secret of effective communication is you need to be simple. Don't ever think that if you need to be effective, you need to learn all the vocabulary which is there in the dictionary. You need simple communication, be it English or be it the mother tongue. And now we're dealing with English. English has become a global language. One request to use, don't look at English with hatred or with a sense of allergy. You know, Dr. Abdul Kalam grew up in a fishing village near Rameshwaram, not in an environment where there are all convent educated people. And you and I, we know that he used to be a paper boy, throwing newspapers in the morning. And then after that, he had to come and go to the school, right? From such a position, for a person to conquer a nation and in fact a world is something very, very amazing. So his model is definitely a successful model because he has proved simple yet powerful communication. The second point, to be effective, it is not enough if you are a fluent communicator. You have to demonstrate humility. You have to be humble. Tomorrow, if you're going to serve a customer, you're going to sell something, you're going to influence somebody. If that person looks at you as an arrogant person, whatever you communicate will not be of any impact. The most important part is being humble. And this is also in demand today. One thing which is in demand today is being humble. People are rare today. People are arrogant, people are egoistic. And there are so many incidents in Dr. Kalam's life where he had demonstrated that humility. Whenever he used to go to a school to address children, he used to become a child. Normally, a speaker who goes to the school, the children will all be here, ground level, the speaker would be 30,000 feet, because most of the speakers would struggle. How do I talk to a child? The most of the speakers would struggle, whereas here is a person, Dr. Kalam, who was very adaptive. He would show his humility by going down to that person's level. The third one is clear. Communication has to be clear. Why do we communicate? We communicate because we want somebody to do something which we want them to. Unless we are clear, how will the communication resonate? So that is why it is called effective communication. It has to be clear. If not, the whole, even if you are a graduate from, say, Harvard or Cambridge or whatever, if there is no clarity, it's absolutely gone. And this comes by practice. Connecting. You have to connect with the other person. It can be one person to whom you are communicating. It could be a group of people, right? It could be email. It could be straight face-to-face communication. Unless you are able to connect with the other person, it's absolute waste of time and energy for it. You need to connect heart to heart. Communicating is always from heart to heart, because all of us are connecting with another human being. We're not talking to machines. You need to connect. You have to be genuine. The other thing that we are learning from Dr. Kalam's model, communicating model, be genuine. Even a child can find out if you are artificially talking to someone. And here there's an interesting thing I normally share. You take the most handsome or the most beautiful actor in India, or even 2-3 actors together. On one side, the other side, Dr. Kalam. And there is a voting system all over India. Citizens have to vote who is the most attractive person, whom they like more. They would definitely not vote for that actor. They would vote for Dr. Kalam, because all of us love Dr. Kalam because we all know him to be a genuine person. He wouldn't wear a mask. I'm not talking about the corona mask. I'm talking about that mask, right? People always wear a mask on the stage. They try to please others. They're not genuine. Even a child can. And you're all young people. I interact with a lot of youngsters. And sometimes youngsters, along with me, they laugh at somebody who is not genuine. I also laugh with them. I laugh with you when somebody is not genuine. You laugh at that person. The bar Yamatrang sir, bar Chumma, I'm also with you. But when you grow up, you have to tell yourself, okay, I will not be like this. I will be a genuine person when I communicate. And what I speak is what I am doing. And what I speak is what I'm thinking. I don't need to plan. I don't need to tell one lie and then use another lie to hide this. I don't need to keep on manipulate. Manipulating is what is happening today in this world. You and I, you can easily find out who's manipulating. Genuine communicator. Flexible. One day he would address a group of scientists. The other day he would address a group of management graduate students. The other day he would address school students. He was always flexible. And to be effective as a communicator, you need that flexibility. That's another art, like swimming. There are multiple styles of swimming, the freestyle, the butterfly, this and that. Communication also has a lot of style. When I say style, especially having Dr. Kalam's photo before us, style is not about makeup. Style is not about some, fancy body language, right? Body language has to be respectable. That is it. Beyond that, don't give too much of importance to style. Communicating style is more about being flexible. And more importantly, Dr. Kalam's evergreen talks, his book, which is a bestseller. If you have not read his book, please read The Wings of Fire. Please read his book. That itself will be a great inspiration for you. All of his talks, all of his communication was backed by his own experience, be it while launching that satellite or be it his life in that village as he grew up, his interactions with other great people. He was a wonderful storyteller. And today, Harvard and other universities say that even a CEO, they are talking about CEOs, they say every CEO must be a powerful storyteller. If you want to be a good communicator, an effective communicator, you have to tell, don't spin stories, not like the manipulators. The manipulators spin new stories, day after day. Not that, not manipulative stories. Your real life, whatever you are experiencing, tell them as stories. That's one another powerful way. Especially tomorrow, you're going to become an entrepreneur, maybe a CEO. Maybe you will start your own NGO. You'll be a very powerful person, a social worker. You will change the world around you. Be good in storytelling. So this is a mini MBA using Dr. Kalam's model for effective communication. How to become a good communicator or a great communicator or an effective communicator? Today, I'm going to change the way you look at this question. How? How do I become rich? How do I become successful? How do I become a good communicator? How? That how is not an important factor at all. If you're going to keep asking how to change my attitude, throughout your life, you will struggle, you will not get the answer. Then what is the solution for this? Ask a different question. Why? Why should I become a good communicator? Why should I be an effective communicator? Why should I be successful? Why should I study? Why should I build my skills? Why should I change my attitude? Ask yourself. Don't ask people around. Ask yourself. So the why is more important than the how. Because if I know why I have to do that, what is the benefit I'm getting? How am I benefiting? That is that why. Why should I do this? Okay, I will get this benefit. So this is called good selfishness. In selfishness, there's also good selfishness. If I'm going to practice this, I'm going to be successful. It's something I'm going to benefit, right? So learn this lesson today. If the why is big enough, the how is not a big deal, right? So the why is the most important stuff. And more importantly, please note, people say the secret of what is the secret? What is this secret? There is absolutely no secret in this world. There is absolutely no secret in this world. If you look at somebody, Dr. Abdul Kalam, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is what he demonstrated. If you demonstrate, you will also become as successful as him. There is absolutely no secret. Ask that question why from today. Ask yourself. You will get the answer. So far, what is that we have covered? Because it should not be a crowd of information into our heads and then get confused. So far, what have we covered? The first one I covered was that one habit of all successful people, all rich people. I said rich people, right? I would wish and I would pray as a friend that each one of you become wealthy, become very rich. Because you're all good people. If you become rich, you will help the world. You will also be abundant. You will also help others. So being rich is not something dirty. Don't be scared of money. Money is something very important to you and me. And I'm sure you're all good people. If you earn good money, if you become wealthy, will also help others. But for all this, that one habit of being a good student, learning 2.0, you hate notebooks, you hate pen, you hate writing because my teachers have always pushed me, my parents have pushed me. But today, you start doing it for your own purpose. The second one, develop the right attitude. I explained what it means: work ethic, self-discipline, etc. That's what is attitude. Ups and downs. You may attempt something and fail. Failure is something part of life. So don't cry after a failure. Men and women, I'm telling you. Sit and okay. If you have failed, it means that you have tried something. Pat yourself, and then come over that failure. Being in the right company and environment. I cannot stress that even more. I would say that's the most important stuff. And where your focus goes, everything goes. So where your focus goes, decide that, right? Tell yourself, my focus is I want to be a very, very wealthy person. I want to be very rich by ethical means. I want to build wealth. I would want to be a successful person. Then if your focus goes there, all your energy, all your money, all your resources, your time will all flow there. And I said the why is more important than the how. So far we have covered this much, and I'm time conscious, so yes, we are on track. So we also looked at the Dr. Abdul Kalam model. I would also recommend to you, look around you for successful people. It need not be somebody who's a CEO of a company. It need not be somebody who's very far away from. Just around you, look at people who demonstrate good wisdom, good attitude. It may be even a farmer in a village. There are a lot of people in the village who are very wise. They may tell in their own mother tongue. Don't dismiss something because you said it in Tamil or Telugu or Hindi or whatever. Don't ignore them. There are wise people around. Learn from them. Be a good student, right? So what are some of the important tips for you to become an effective communicator? Be patient. If you're starting something, learning 2.0, if you're going to start from today, don't get restless. Don't think, oh my God, I wasted all my time. What is going to happen? Be patient. You start today, give yourself the time. Some months, some years. Patience is one of the best virtues somebody can have. Work consistently. There are people who would suddenly, oh, fantastic, it's inspiring. It's like opening that aerated drink, your favorite Pepsi, Coke, whatever. When if you have refrigerated, take it out and you open it, it comes with a lot of fizz. Whatever is your favorite drink, Pepsi or orange, any orange drink or whatever, lot of fizz. It's so very nice. But you open that, pour it into a vessel. After half an hour, there is nothing in there except sugar. So your inspiration must not be like that. Suddenly one day you're inspired. Hey, I am inspired. You tell your friend, you tell somebody. And then after 2 days, your friend will ask, hey, what happened? Yeah, you started this. You would say, yeah, I started. That's boring here. Work consistently. The secret of Dr. Abdul Kalam, secret of N.S. Sivaraman, whom I mentioned, the secret of every single person, the secret of the sports people whom you and I know, the secret of the actors. I'm including every profession because we look at actors and we look at them with awe. We don't look at what they are working behind, how hard they are working. Your favorite hero is not eating whatever he or she sees. They're disciplined, self-discipline, which you talked about, right? Work consistently. More importantly, look at the next point. Your past is not equal to your future. Your past may be not that good. It's perfectly fine. Who cares? Your past is gone. Your future begins now. And don't carry any guilt feeling. I could have done this, I could have done that, I could have used my time properly, I didn't study. All that doesn't matter. Guilt is not part of spirituality. Guilt is not part of psychology. Guilt is something very negative, like any other negative emotion. Remove that guilt. Pat yourself. Today I have awakened. I am now aware. So let me have fun with this new journey. These are some of the tips for you to start communicating. Do not compare. And don't be jealous of people who are good communicators. One very, very important, concept in psychology is modeling. What is it, modeling? You look at somebody's, maybe Dr. Abdul Kalam, or maybe somebody else. Like, look at them. It could be a series of people. It need not be just one person. For example, people who are listening to any sports commentary, especially the English commentary, if you feel there is a commentator who's good, who has a good Indian English, don't worry about Australian and American English. Just simple Indian English. You are listening to the commentator. Try to copy him. Try to imitate him. Right? That's one step. Right? And also the same around you. If you find somebody who's very good, try to learn from them. It is perfectly fine to make mistakes. Perfectly fine to make mistakes. So if you make a mistake, just realize what is a mistake. It could be a grammar mistake, it could be a sentence formation. It is only by keeping on taking that effort again and again and again, you would be an expert. The first time you jumped into the well, you went down. Somebody helped you up. The first time you tried swimming, that would have been the case. The first time I spoke somewhere, you were not witness to that. It was, it was nowhere near acceptable standard, but that was the first step, right? It's very important to make mistakes and then learn. It's important not to make the same mistake again. If your friends and if the people around you, they laugh at you, you also laugh with them. Don't get angry at them. You know this Sandanam character in movies? There are Sandanams around us, right? That friend of yours who's laughing, the moment you try to communicate or you try something new, the moment you try and the first day you make some mistake, that person would laugh. Take it in your stride. Develop the sense of humor. Sense of humor is I make a mistake. Sense of humor is I can talk about my hairstyle, for example, and feel good about it. So what's wrong about it? And this is in psychology called self-esteem. If you have a good self-esteem, if you feel good about yourself, if somebody laughs at you, you won't feel small. You will laugh along with them. You also laugh along with them, but continue what you are trying to do. And this slide is entirely about what all can your communication do in terms of an impact. Start with the bottom. At the very bottom, you have this damaging or negative impact. This morning, my wife was sharing with me a news that Sanjay Manjrekar, the cricket commentator, has written a letter to the BCCI requesting them to give him that slot of a commentator there. The BCCI had removed him from being a commentator. He was a very good communicator. He was very good in English. But the problem with him was he started making personal comments about some players, and which didn't go well with the players. So many of them were upset, and he was removed from the panel of commentators. And now he has written a letter telling, requesting the BCCI, I am ready to apologize if I have hurt somebody. Please include me. Please take me back as a commentator. Great people, very great communicators also make this mistake. It's very important to ask, how am I communicating? And here, it's not just about the English. It is about your attitude. It's about, am I caring? Am I respecting people? That's the first step. Again, going back to Dr. Abdul Kalam's model, am I caring for the other person? Am I showing my respect to the other person? Even if there's a grammatical mistake in your English, people will forgive that. People will not take it seriously. But if your attitude shows that you are not respecting them, then you would lose your charm. They wouldn't like you. So it's very important to ask to do an audit of how you communicate. Am I hurting or am I disrespectful? Without my knowledge, I can be disrespectful to people. When I do customer service training programs, I tell people, I ask them, in fact, I ask them, I do for some very large organizations. I ask them, has any customer become angry because there was a grammatical mistake in your English? They said, no, nobody gets angry. So when will a customer become angry? When will a customer get upset? When will a customer escalate to the boss or the super boss or even to the CEO? When the customer feels that here is a person who has not respected me, he didn't respect me, he didn't pay attention, he didn't care. So that's the very first step. The next level is the communication is ineffective. It's not damaging, but it's ineffective. Right? I tell something, there's no effect on the other side. Then I need to ask myself, where is that I need to correct myself? Where is it I need to improve? Maybe I'm not clear in my communication. Maybe I'm not communicating it properly. And the biggest requirement here is you need to look at the mirror. What does this mean? What does this mean to look at the mirror? Meaning you have to self-reflect. Maybe ask a friend. Maybe ask a person around you. Ask for feedback. And you also increase your self-awareness. How am I communicating? If you have made a mistake, if you have failed, it is perfectly fine, provided you learn from that mistake. All of us learn from mistakes. So if you are ineffective, learn, take feedback. You also self-reflect. You will learn more about how can you make it more and more effective. And then at the very top is effective communication. So when is the communication effective? You want somebody to do something. That is why you communicate. You are going for an interview, you would want that interviewer to recruit you. That's the objective. When you are selling something, you want that person, the prospective buyer, to buy your product. When you are talking to a friend and you're explaining something, you want your friend to be happy, you want your friend to know something, to understand something. So that is effective. Something which I have not mentioned in the slide, but it comes to my mind, beyond all this is the transformational communication. I have not mentioned it here, it just comes to my mind. Beyond effective is the transformational communication. You can be a transformational leader like Dr. Abdul Kalam. You talk to a group of people, you talk to one person, the way you communicate, you can transform people. Dr. Abdul Kalam, during his lifetime, especially the later years, he has visited so many schools, so many colleges, educational institutions. Wherever he went, he transformed at least a small group of people. And that is his power. And the power comes from being genuine, being pure inside. Again and again, I'm telling you, my dear young friends, you're all my young friends, I'm telling you, develop that purity inside. Develop that attitude to serve tomorrow. Today I am serving you. I am serving you today. So that's the attitude with which I am talking to you. I care for you. I wish and pray, as I'm doing this presentation, I wish and I pray that every single person here in this group, I don't care about your background. You may be a mischievous student. You may be a backbencher. Fine. All of you, my wish is that every single person in this group should and will become very successful, become wealthy, right? And when we meet sometime somewhere, you have to say, hi, Krish, you remember, I attended your seminar. Today I'm a big shot. I'm this, I'm that. Let's have a cup of coffee. That's the moment. And that is the transformational effect of every communication. Okay, one thing I would ask you, answer it yourself. Do you like selling? Do you want to be a salesperson? Do you like selling? Okay, I can sense that most of you say, no, I don't want to get into selling. Selling? No. But the good news and the bad news is that every single person in this world is selling something or other every day. Every day. And you young people, you have been selling something for the last 20 odd years. When you were in the 6th standard, you wanted to go to the excursion, you went to your parents to ask permission. What were you doing? You were asking that you wanted to convince your parents to give that small amount of money, and more importantly, give permission. I want to go for that excursion. Please permit me. You were selling an idea. You were asking permission to your class teacher, ma'am or sir, and I want to go out just for your friends were waiting there, right? And you tell something and then you go out. Once in a while, it is okay. Dr. Kalam has said once in a while cutting classes is okay, once in a while, because friendship is also important. And we remember only this. You will remember Dr. Kalam has said, you can cut classes, but you should also remember the other things which he said. He said you're all transformational leaders, right? So coming back to the thing, you want to ask permission from your ma'am or your professor, your sir. There you are actually selling an idea. You want to get their permission. Throughout our life, we are selling every day, whether you like it or not. Which means that to be effective communicator, you need to know how I am going to sell, right? So good news and bad news is this, but it is more of a good news because now you will realize that for me to get things done from others, I need to develop the skill to sell. So how do I sell? Selling is not about forcing. I said, I cannot jump on somebody and or the point of knife and say, you have to do this. You cannot force them. That's not selling. Selling is you make the other person do what you want. And an added thing to that is something like this. There is a very famous saying, you don't get what you deserve. Please remember, this applies to life, this applies to business. In both life and in business, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. This is true to life. And don't tell it's a very unfair world. Yes, it's an unfair world. So how do you grow in this unfair world? By learning how to influence. This is called the art of influencing. There are many psychologists who have researched only on this, how to influence others, not by manipulating. Robert Cialdini, an Italian psychologist, is one expert on influence. There's a book that he has written on influence, how to influence people. How did Dr. Kalam influence a whole nation? He had to build that reputation, brick by brick, day by day, speech by speech, not some overnight magic wand, gee, boom, ba, and the nation changed. No. First, listen. You want to influence somebody? First, listen. The other person has to see that you are listening. Otherwise, you cannot influence somebody. You cannot influence by keeping on talking. Unfortunately, this is one medium where, through Zoom, I am interacting with you. If it were a classroom, I would have only spoken half of what I would have done some activities. I would have asked many questions. I would have listened to you. I would have listened to you. This is what I am doing in every corporate training program I do. This is what I do as a coach. I'm a coach. I listen 80% of the time. I only talk 20% of the time. And they pay me very high amounts of money more for listening. Listen, listen, and listen. You will be a very good influencer. And in listening, there are different levels. The first level, as you see in the screen, is ignoring. I'm not even bothering. I'm just ignoring, and I'm not even looking at that person. I'm not even acting as I'm just ignoring. There are millions of people this way. The next level of listening is pretending. Like you all do, most of you do in the class. Auto mode. Right? There are many married people who also do this auto mode. You shake your head, but you're only pretending as if you're listening. The next level, we are going from bottom to up. Ignoring, pretending. Next level is selective listening. Selective listening is your, for example, in webinars like this or seminars like this, if at all you are listening, I don't know if you are listening. I don't know if you have switched off the video and you have gone somewhere. I don't know. But I know we are all friends, so don't worry about it. It's not, I'm not putting you down. It's just a friendly comment, right? So what suddenly sparks the antenna of many people, the antenna comes up, is when the speaker says, to end my speech, let me quote Shakespeare. And then suddenly people who are sleeping, people who have not, then they are listening, selective listening. And in the corporate scenario, at the year end, there is an appraisal. At the end of the appraisal, they will tell you how they have rated and what will be the increment. So the boss would talk for half an hour, you need to improve this, you need to improve that, this is something you, all the feedback. But somewhere the boss says, so this year the increment will be, and then suddenly the candidate will listen. So all of us have the selective listening, which is again another weakness. So beyond selective listening, attentive listening. I'm attentive to what the other person is saying. But much beyond that, the highest level of listening is when I can listen to the other person's feelings. I told we are all dealing with human beings, not machines. I need to listen to the other person's feelings. Sometimes your own friend would tell you, I'm okay. You tell, hey, what, you're a bit dull. The person would say, no, I'm okay. But even though the person says okay, you feel there is something disturbing him or her. So what do you say? You are listening to the feelings. You're listening to something which the other person is not telling. And then you tell, no, there's something. I leave it to you, but I would appreciate if you catch it. I am with you, right? So if you, the highest level of listening, you're also listening with rapt attention. You are also able to listen to the other person's emotions, the feelings, because communicating is all about communicating with human beings. And the most important part of the communicating is listening to people. And when you are able to listen to what the person is not telling you, you are at the highest level of communicating. For want of time, I may skip the written communication, but I want to tell you something very important. I'm not, through this presentation, I'm not giving you the fish, I'm teaching you how to fish. So one such technique is that how can someone develop their written communication? The best way is, and today written communication would mean emails. In corporates, elsewhere, a lot of communication happens through emails, which would mean that you are also receiving a lot of emails, a lot of written communication. Maybe emails, maybe a brochure, maybe a pamphlet, maybe a write-up. What I would suggest to you from today is, whenever you see a good written communication, read it, store it, reread it, analyze that. What are the sentences there? How they have been framed? How they are effective? Learn from that. You try to copy them. You try to emulate them. That is one simple way of improving your written communicating. And the more you read, not mechanically reading, but reading, taking cognizance of how they have framed the sentences. Store some of those communication. Unless it is confidential, don't. If it is confidential, don't get it. Don't store it. Don't. But otherwise, all the generic communication, you store it, and you can even read newspaper headlines. Magazines, the emails that you receive from your own college authorities. Look at those emails. Most of those emails would offer you some lesson or the other. This is one way where you can improve your written communication. And you also, like swimming, you also keep typing. You keep writing good emails. Get feedback from someone. Have one person who would help you as a mentor, as somebody who would care for you and give the feedback how you can. And I'm telling you, please, this is my personal opinion, I may be wrong. My opinion, Dr. Abdul Kalam, Mr. Sivaraman, they didn't go for any English evening school somewhere outside. Are you struggling? Join our Speak English, Speak Easy, all that, that's not my recommendation, right? You practice, that is how you would be able to. So I'm skipping the written communication because for want of time. This is very, very important. What is the most important or the most powerful app? You're all using so many apps. Answer it in your mind, wherever you are. What is that most powerful app? The most powerful app. We're talking about effective communication. We're talking about influencing. We are talking about transformational communication, right? Leaders, world leaders in the history of the world, in the history of human beings, thousands of years, every leader has used this, even before technology came in. So this has got nothing to do with your iPhones and your other technologies. It is about appreciating. Forget the Sandanam character you see on the screen. You have seen. And also today in every news channel, you see people insulting each other. It's a very bad trend. It will not help you in your life. What will help you? To build your brand. Brand you. Brand you is something which you need to remember. I saw a lot of names on the screen. Every name which is there on the screen, every name is a brand. And one way to improve that brand, like Dhoni is a brand, Gillette is a brand, Sony is a brand, HP is a brand, Apple is a brand. So these brands are built consciously. Likewise, your name, Krish is a brand. So I build my brand. It doesn't happen automatically. How do I build my brand? I respect people. I care for people. I try to be as genuine as possible. I don't insult people. I don't hurt people. The most important thing is appreciate people. Appreciate senior people. Appreciate junior people. Appreciate the ordinary people around. The person who may come, who may be cleaning. We don't appreciate that person. We appreciate powerful people. We appreciate people when we want something. But Dr. Kalam appreciated every person whom he met. He cared. On the day when he died, he was traveling from Guwahati to some remote college in the northeast. He was in his car, and in the front on the jeep there was a security guard, probably a CRPF. He was standing, like he has to stand because he's a security person. Dr. Kalam, looking at him standing, he sent word, why is that person standing? Is he going to stand all the way till the college? Please ask him to sit. How many great people would do this? How many politicians would do this? How many prime ministers and presidents throughout the world would do it? Very, very rare. Caring for the other person. You care for the other person, you conquer that person. And genuinely appreciate everybody. Thank people for every small thing. Admire others. The moment we see somebody who's smarter than us, somebody who's communicating better, who has something better, so you start using negative language, your body language or your tone, maybe your eyes. Instead, admire everybody. The more you admire others, this universe will give you many good things. Today, you are having a bicycle or you don't have any vehicle. You look at somebody driving a very expensive car. In your mind, admire that person. You say, wow, God bless you. And when one of your friend has acquired a new phone, maybe a new vehicle, maybe a new bike, something, you say, wow, fantastic, God bless you with even more. Or at least inside your mind, admire. That is the first step for your abundance. And when you do this, the universe will bless you with more and more and more wealth. The best of everything you can think of. The next thing is attention. Pay attention to the other person. Effective communication, right? the most powerful app which I appreciate is also about paying attention. When somebody starts talking, you know what, yesterday I had this experience. Pay attention to that person. Every time I would want to talk, but I don't want to pay attention. The moment somebody says, yeah, even I have this experience, I don't let him talk. I start talking about, or I say, 1 minute, I'll just come, and I walk off. If you have to charm people, you have to pay attention to the other person. You have to listen. You have to see that listening. You tell me, I'm just taking some, there's another bad habit today. Yeah, you keep telling, I'm just sending this message. Yeah, that one, oh, yeah, very good, very good. So I keep, manipulating my phone. I'm not paying attention to the other person. Human to human, heart to heart. You do this, you'll be a powerful communicator. So let's recap. That one habit, being a good student, is that habit which all the successful people, rich people have developed. I gave you the example of Richard Branson, right? Develop the right attitude, be willing to fail, learn, respect others, ups and downs, perfectly fine with life. Very, 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 very important to be in the right company, in the right environment. You have a bad company, a damaging company, unhealthy company, who discourage you from doing all good things, who discourage you from all the positive things, that company is not worth it, and it's very dangerous. Where your focus goes, all your energy flows, all your time flows, your energy, your everything goes towards that focus. So ask yourself, where is my focus going? What is that ambition in my life? What am I aiming for? And the why is more important than the how. Throughout your life, the Dr. Abdul Kalam model is by itself an MBA in effective communication. Remember the next point, all of us are selling every day, whether you like it or not, whether you like selling or not, whether it's good news or bad news, you can't escape. A mother making the child eat good, nutritious food is selling. All of us are selling. Influencing, I mentioned about how to influence the other person. Listen, listen, listen. Keep listening. Pay attention, right? And read the written communication. I gave you a hint because of lack of time. The best way to develop your written communication is whatever communication comes to you in the form of emails, maybe a magazine, maybe an article. Read that, not mechanically. Read that and pay attention to the formation of the sentences, how they form the sentences, how. And one book I would want to recommend if you want to develop English, Sudha Murthy's books. You buy them from some second-hand shops. I'm not asking you to spend a lot of money. I don't know. There's a lot of second-hand shops available. Buy Sudha Murthy. Sudha Murthy is Infosys Naranamurthy's wife. Sudha Murthy's books, a lot of stories. They are stories, and the English is very simple. It is awesome for you to learn more about written, and you also emulate that. You try to write or type based on that communication. Wish you all the success in life, in your personal life, in your career. Choose the career which you would want, right? On any day, I would be willing to come to your institute, not for any money, right? This particular offer is not commercial. I'm willing to come to your institute any day where you would want to consult me how to choose a career, and then enjoy the whole of the life as if that career is part of your life. Today, work, life, people are struggling as if work and life are two different things. Bring them together. Find a work that you will be excited to do, however simple, and try to serve the world. If you're, whatever is your profession, if you're doing it as a service to the world, you would have an amazing life. God bless you. The universe bless you with all success. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Krish. It was wonderful listening to you. And I'm sure all our students have benefited a lot, and they've got a lot of tips and tricks in the most wonderful way that you could give us. So our director is still there in the meeting. So, sir, would you like to share a few thoughts on the session?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for being present. I'm humbled. A very experienced person you are, and you sitting through it. It's inspiring. It's a lesson. It's a lesson. Uh, uh, Sir, I just want to repeat what I said. I'm really honored that you were there listening. Such a honor because you are yourself a very experienced person, and it's a good. You have set an example by listening to someone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I'm humbled and I'm honored.
Yeah, thank you very much for your information. And then see, this is a practical, real-time experience you have shared for the students. Because instead of explaining the theory and other things what we used to do in the class, the real-time experience is the best one. What you have done is, and it is really an excellent discussion and useful information. We got it. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So students, if you have any questions, do the students have any questions? You can post it. We have a couple of minutes more to go.
So any questions are welcome. You know, don't think whether it is silly or important. Any question you ask, I would respect you, but don't ask me whether you was Das or Lord Labak Das. Don't ask that kind of questions. That's also because of lack of time. Yeah. Otherwise, even that question I can handle. No issues.
Thank you, sir. One thing, sir, one thing you should tell it to our students. In psychology, I used to read some lines like this. The power of man is in the power of mind.
Absolutely.
The power of mind is in the power of subconscious mind. And the power of subconscious mind is in the power of subconscious belief. And it is this subconscious belief that lifts man to greatness. So how to stimulate or how to motivate the subconscious belief of our students? That is the question.
Very, very pertinent, very profound question, sir. So one interesting thing is, you know, I am doing it to myself for the last so many years. I've come from the ground level up, and I have lacked confidence. I had lacked self-belief, and I'd come I am not saying I've come the hard way. I don't want to use such a sentence. I want to put it in an interesting manner. It's always an interesting way to come up. If you are born with everything, there's no fun in life. If there's a match where right from the first over, you know, India is going to win, there is absolutely no thrill in it. But it's a World Cup final, and the match is very tough. And you know, like the 1983 World Cup, we still talk about Kapil Dev. Kapil Dev's movie is going to release now, or even Dhoni, where the match is everything is against you, and against all odds you win, and that is something wonderful. The same thing applies to each one of us. So how do I know what is my self-belief? And it's there inside me. So when you say subconscious self-belief, it means that I'm not aware. I'm not aware of my belief. So even when I made a statement that each and every youngster who's there is capable of building wealth, becoming a millionaire, billionaire, whatever, some of them would have accepted, some of them would have said, no, not me. I'm not made for it. So that is also reflective of my self-belief deep inside. So how do I become aware of the beliefs inside me? I have to, like looking at the mirror, I have to look inside. How am I responding to different things? When someone says you can be successful, how am I responding inside my mind? And inside my mind, I'm very comfortable. I don't need to tell certain things outside. So I can just tell, okay, this is what I am believing. This is what is my reaction to someone. This is what is my response when somebody says you can also be successful, you are a leader, etc. Or when I read the success story of someone, am I telling myself I can also be like that? Or am I telling this will happen for him but not for me? So all these conversations happening inside one's mind is what we need to be aware. And the more and more we are aware of the conversations happening, like I talked about communicating, even here, if we are mechanically just living, then we are not aware. Awareness, self-awareness is the most important thing in psychology. And when I say psychology, I would want to relate that to the Indian system or the Indian culture, where we give utmost importance to spirituality. And when I say spirituality, I'm not referring to any religion. But today Harvard is talking about spirituality. Today Harvard is talking about spiritual energy, and they're not referring to anything called religion. Sachin Tendulkar played for 30 plus years. I don't know, 28, 30, how many years. He underwent so many surgeries, knee surgery. I don't know how many surgeries he underwent, and every surgery is painful. And recouping after a surgery is also very painful. The Tamil actor Vikram, who acted in that movie he had to lose weight to such a tremendous extent for that movie There was one point in time during the shooting that he only had the bones. Director said, you should only have energy just to walk, just to be alive. What motivated him to do that? By starving, literally starving so that he could play that role. What is motivating Sachin Tendulkar? What is motivating such actors? What is motivating all of these great sports people, actors, artists, corporate people? This is the spiritual energy. What gives you the energy is not that drink that they advertise on the TV channel. That's not the secret of Dhoni. That's not the secret of Virat Kohli. That's not the secret of any of those people. Something that tells them, hey, I am here for an important purpose. So on one side, realizing I'm important. On the other side, listening to the conversation inside my mind, because I know what's happening inside my mind. The conversation I'm talking to myself. Through that, I'll be aware of the self-belief. And when I'm aware of the self-belief, let me not become guilty. Let me know, oh my God, very scary. This is my belief. No. That pat yourself, okay, I'm getting aware. So let me correct myself. And I'm still, sir, to tell you, I'm still doing this exercise because I'm 54. I'm setting new goals in my life. I have new goals, new ambitions, right? So every time I'm listening to my conversation, sometimes my wife helps me by reminding. My teenage daughter shows the mirror in front of me, in the sense not physically. She would tell, Appa, why are you talking like this? Why are you thinking this way? So receiving feedback from people around, okay, I realize. I'll tell you what, last thing that I will sum up. I was having a conversation with Mr. Sivaraman. I said, Mr. Sivaraman and he is my mentor, Ananta's chief mentor, as well as my friend. So yesterday we were having a conversation. I mentioned to him, this is what is my ambition, and I'm going to slowly work out on it. He immediately caught on this language. Krish, I heard you say I will slowly work out on this. Look at the language you're saying. Why should you say slowly? Why can't it be swift? It's not gambling, but so this is how you can receive feedback from others. So this is the secret, sir. If at all there's a secret, this is the answer.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Sir, there were a couple of students who wanted to ask a few questions, but I think they have not typed. There's one question that says, how do we manage the preparation part of our career with our leisure time?
Wonderful question. First, play it like a game. Don't take it very seriously and don't panic. Have conversations with mentors. Have conversations with the right kind of people who would empathize with you, would listen to you. The problem with today's career counselors, not all, at least some of them whom I have experienced, they don't listen to you. They keep on advising without understanding what you are having in your mind. So what you can do is during your leisurely time, you take a blank A4 sheet and start listing down what are the activities which I would want to do in my life, which would give me a lot of happiness. And of those activities, how can I meaningfully make a career? How can I earn some money? Bottom line is, whatever is my interest, how can I serve somebody? A stand-up comedian is serving somebody. I'm using stand-up comedy because that is one career many people are wanting to take. A sports person, right? So first thing is asking yourself, where is my interest? What will give me happiness for the next 40 years? Second thing is, how can I, using that, how can I serve the world? What can I offer to the world and earn money that I require? So during your leisure time, this is what you need to talk to yourself, talk to the right kind of people who listen to you. And there are a lot of mentors available out in the world, provided you are willing to reach them. I hope I have answered the question kind of reasonably.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
doctor.
Yes, sir. That is
Yes.
fine. I think yes, he's responded that the question has been answered.
Thank you.
How to overcome stage fear is another question.
Wonderful. My favorite. My favorite. And again, out there in the market, there's a lot of misguidance on that. How do you learn swimming? You first enter into the water, knee deep water or hip deep water. You take a guide. You are okay with the initial fear, the uncertainty. Likewise, the only way to overcome stage fear is to go through that fear in a safe manner. In the sense, find out small opportunities where you can stand on a stage. Let your hands shiver. Let your legs shiver. Let your first talk be nonsense. Doesn't matter. The only effective way is find every opportunity to be on the stage. Right? The one simple way is, like I said, knee deep and hip deep water. Find small opportunities where you will undergo this tension, be on the stage, try to be on the stage as much as possible, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, blabber something. It is perfectly fine. And as you stand on the stage, get used to it, and slowly you will come out of it. And the other secret is, even if it's a small opportunity, a small crowd, prepare well. Because you don't prepare well, you stand on the stage and your mind is blank, then don't blame on the fear and on the stage. You are not prepared. So prepare well, undergo that experience, not once, not twice, many times. Like I said, that's the way where I have gone through the stage. I know today hundreds of youngsters are going to listen, but this morning I didn't panic. But there was a time where I used to panic. You won't believe, I used to do training program. The first day of the training program, they would offer ice cream. I wouldn't eat ice cream because now I freak out. Right? So the only way is to experience that. And more importantly, prepare. It's perfectly fine to make mistakes on the stage and learn over it. Repeat it again and again and again. This model will definitely work.
I totally second.
Sorry, doctor. So one more thing I want to add is, it is okay if people laugh. There is no great person in this world people are not laughed at. People laugh at every great people. So if you're on the stage, somebody is laughing at you, immediately don't tell, henceforth I won't go to the stage, everybody is laughing at me. You are imagining they are laughing, you also laugh with them. You get down from the, or you even tell, oh, my hands are shivering, even that you can tell. If it's a small forum, it's perfectly okay. People love honest speakers. People love speakers who are genuine, and from there you will pick up. Please try this. Thank you, doctor.
Yes, sir. I totally second your thoughts, because even in classroom activities, it gets really difficult for us teachers to pull students out of their shell, to get them talk to their own classmates while they are happily, busy chatting with each other in the regional language or their mother tongue. But when we ask them to talk in English, that's where they, the fear comes glooming there. And so I'm sure your talk would have definitely encouraged all of them to break those shells and try to give their best at the next best given opportunity. There are some questions on interviews. It's just for the sake of the participants, I would like to tell you that we have 3 more sessions lined up in the afternoon. There is one session on resume writing and interview handling skills. There is another session tomorrow morning, the same time, 11 o'clock. We have on how to crack aptitude tests. And then tomorrow evening will be our last and the fourth session, handled by our respected Krish Venkat sir, who has just been our resource person. He is going to again discuss with us on how the do's and the don'ts of group discussion. So if you have questions on communication skills and how to communicate in a group discussion, you can save it for the last session, which is going to come up tomorrow evening. Okay, so I think on behalf of the Faculty of Science and Humanities, SRMIST Vadapalani, and also the participants, our dear students, I thank you, Mr. Krish, for your effective session, and I'm sure it has impressed all of us. And we've also been getting a lot of feedback on the chat column that they've all been very impressed, and they've been motivated by your talk to come out from their fear, and then come out of their fear, and then talk, communicate effectively to others. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks to the institution for giving me this opportunity. And the best thing is to spend time with the youth, who are the leaders. And I'm sure all of these people are also Dr. Kalam's, ardent followers, fans, and that is why they're able to appreciate this kind of. What I did was something very simple, straight from the heart, nothing complex, nothing very high funda. So I think the youngsters, the youth here were also in rapt attention. I thank the youth more than the institution. I thank the youth for paying attention, for spending this time with me. I'm humbled. Thank you so much once again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Students, please join our next session at 2:30.